Hello guys, welcome back to TechDose, and in this video we will see the subarray sum equals k problem, which is from Leetcode day 22 of the 30 days coding challenge. So this problem can also be named as count the number of subarrays with sum exactly equals k. So let us look at the problem statement. Let us assume that we are given an array having 8 elements and we are required to find the number of subarrays with sum equals to k, and here k value is equals to 7. Then what will be the answer in this case? In this case there are 4 such subarrays which are having sum equals to 7. So the subarrays with sum equals k has already been marked. As you can see, index 0 and 1 forms a subarray which is having sum equals 7. Index 2 forms a subarray having just a single element with sum equals to 7, and a subarray from index 2 to 5 is also having sum equals 7, and also from index 5 to 7. Now how can we solve this problem? A simple approach can be to produce all possible subarrays which will be of order of n square, and then for each subarray calculate the sum value and check if it is equals to k. If it is equals to k, then keep a counter initialized to 0 initially and keep incrementing it by one value when you find a sum equals to k. So in this way the total time will be order of n cube, because for each of the subarray you will have to find the sum, and so this will also take order of n time. So n square n will be n cube. Now how can we optimize this solution? Actually we are required to find sum in a given range for finding the subarray sum. So what can we do is we can just pre-calculate the sum values so that we don't have to find it again and again. So here you can see that in this example I have taken the same example. I have calculated the left sum value which is from 0th index and it is increasing to the right hand side. So this is just a cumulative sum calculated from left to right. This can also be called as a prefix sum. Now how can you find the value of an arbitrary subarray? So let's say you want to find the sum value for this subarray. In this case I will assume that ith pointer is at 2 and jth pointer is at 4. So I want to find the subarray sum from I equals to 2 to j equals to 4. Now how can I do it? Actually this value here in the left sum array is indicating the sum from this index 0 to this index 4. So what we need to do is we need to take the entire sum from index 0 to index 4 and then subtract the sum of elements which is not included in this subarray. So what will be it? It will be 13, which is the sum of 0 to 4, minus 7, which is the sum of the first two elements which are not included in this subarray. So this will be equals to 6. Therefore you can see that if we have this left sum or the prefix sum array, then we can calculate the sum of the subarray in just O1 time. So in this case the total time complexity will be order of n square, and since we are using this left sum array, so space complexity will be order of n. And this is the representation of the algorithm. For finding sum from I to j, you can take the left sum till index j, which will be from 0 to j, and then subtract the left sum from 0 to I minus 1. In this way you will get the sum from I to j. Now the boundary case is if you have I equals to 0, then you don't need to see this I minus 1, but then just see this ls at j, because we are actually keeping the sum from index 0. And if you go to index I minus 1, then this will be out of bounds. So this is a boundary case. You can even further optimize this approach and you don't actually need this order of an extra space. You can do this by just using a single sum variable. So whenever you are in a given subarray, then you can maintain the sum of the subarray by just using a single variable and you don't have to pre-calculate it. So how it can be done? Actually, for creating all possible subarrays, you will start your ith pointer from 0 and your jth pointer from 0, and then you will keep iterating your jth pointer until you hit the last index. So after hitting the last index, you have covered all possible subarrays with the starting position as 0th index. Now after covering all these elements, you will increment your ith pointer to this first element, and again you will reinitialize your jth pointer to I, and again you will keep iterating till you hit the last element. So in this way you will create all possible subarrays starting from all possible positions. So while iterating your jth pointer from I to the last element, you can just keep a sum variable which you will initialize to 0 inside the ith loop, and then you will add each and every jth element as soon as you keep moving to the right. So in this way you will maintain the sum value for each and every subarray. So this will optimize your solution and I hope you will try it. Now this solution is n square and this is taking a lot of time. So is it possible to just solve this solution in just a single traversal? So let us see what can we do for a single traversal approach. Subarrays with given sum k may start at any point and end at any point, but the starting index is always less than equals to the ending index. So this is very obvious. Now let us see what all things we need in order to solve this by using single traversal. So I have taken the same example having 8 elements and the same k value equals to 7. We will start with this first element which is at index 0, and I will maintain a prefix sum which is also equals to the left sum value. Now I will keep iterating to the right hand side until we hit the last element, and I will keep updating the prefix sum. So the first element in prefix sum will be 3. Now as soon as I update this prefix sum, then I will check this prefix sum with the value k. If these both are equal, then I will maintain a count variable initially equals to 0 and I will update it. That is, I will increase its value by 1, saying that we have found a subarray whose sum is equals to 7. But in this case, this is not true. So we move on to the next element. This is 4. So we will add this element to the previous prefix sum and this will be equals to 7. So we are actually finding the cumulative sum from left to right, which we already did in our n square solution. So again we will check with the prefix sum with k. Now you can see that prefix sum is equals to k. So we will update our count value to 1, saying that we have found a subarray starting at the 0th index and ending at the current index whose sum is equals to this value k. So we will include it. Now we move on to the next element. This is 7. We will update this prefix sum. It will be 14. So this prefix sum is actually an array. It is not a variable. Now I will check this prefix sum with k. So prefix sum is not equals to k. Therefore I should move to the next element. But then here you can see that we have a subarray with just a single element whose sum is equals to this value k. So we are not including this. Now how can we include this? So actually what we can do is our current sum value is now equals to 14. Now our k value is 7. So if we can find a value current sum minus k in our prefix sum array, then we can be sure that there is a subarray whose sum is equals to k. Now how to prove this? Actually we are assuming that current sum minus k is present. So this will be equals to some value. Now we can write that current sum will be equals to k plus value. So we already found an element current sum minus k to be present in our prefix sum array. So that means value is already present. And since our current cumulative sum is this current sum and value is already present in our prefix sum array, this means that we need this sum k in order to make the value to current sum. So there must be an element or more than an element, that is a subarray, which is having a sum k, so that it is added to this value to reach to this current sum which we are currently at, which is 14 now. So in this case you can see that yes, our current sum minus k value, which comes out to be 7, is present here. And since this current sum minus k is present, so this we have assumed it as value. So value is equals to 7 is present. Now this value is present, so it is sure that k will also be present as a subarray sum somewhere from this starting index to this current index. So yes, it is present as a single element only. So therefore we will increase this count value by 1. I hope you are understanding it. Now we will move on to the next index, which is having a value 2. So 2 will be added, it will be 16. Now 16 will be compared with 7. They are not equal. Now we will see if current sum minus k is present in this prefix sum array. The current sum is 16, k is 7, so 16 minus 7 will be 9. 9 is not present, so we move on to the next element. This is minus 3. Minus 3 will be added, it will be 13. 13 is not equals to k. Now we will see if current sum minus k is present in this prefix sum array. Now 13 minus 7 is equals to 4. So 4 is not present in this prefix sum array. We will just increment the value. Now this is equals to 1. We will add 1, it will be 14. Now 14 will be compared with 7, they are not equal. Now we will find current sum minus k. So current sum 14 minus 7 will be equals to 7. So you can see that 7 is present here in our prefix sum array, and therefore there must exist a subarray which is having a sum equals to k and since we have found that this is 7 here, so that means it is from 0 to 1. Now the next sum value, which is k, should be from the next index to this current index. So this is pretty logical. If you think about it for a minute, then you will understand it pretty easily how it is done. Now since we have this, we will increment the count value to 3 and we will move on to the next index. This is 4. So 14 plus 4 is 18. Now 18 is not equals to k, which is 7. 18 minus 7 is equals to 11. Now 11 is also not present as our prefix sum, so we will move on to the next element. 2 is getting added, it will be 20. 20 is not equals to k. Now 20 minus k is equals to 13. Now 13 is already present. This means that we have found a subarray with some k, which is a new subarray. So this is that subarray. So one thing to note here is, wherever we find this current sum minus k value, from the next index to the current index, we have this subarray which is having the sum value equals to k. So this is another observation. So we had found this 13 at index 4. So after this index 4, that is beginning from index 5 to the current index 7, we will have a subarray which will be having a sum value equals to 7. So this is always true. Now we will update our count value to 4 and all the elements have now been traversed. So we will output this return value with count. Now we have solved this problem in just a single traversal, but still the time complexity remains order of n square, because for each and every element we need to traverse this prefix sum to check if current sum minus k is present or not. So instead of maintaining this array, what data structure can we choose so that we can just find whatever sum is stored in just O1 time? So one such data structure for fast access is map or hash map. So let us see how can we solve this by hash map and optimize the solution further. So we will follow the same method. I will start with this index 0. I will write here 3 and our k value, you know that it is 7. Now 3 is not equals to 7 and 3 minus 7 is also not present in our map. So what will we do is, we will just insert this new sum and its count, that is the number of times this sum has occurred, as 1, and we move on to the next element. Now our prefix sum will be equals to 7. Now 7 will be compared with 7. They both are equal. So we will increment our count with 1. So count is now 1. Now 7 minus 7, 0 is not present in our map. So we will just insert this 7 and its count as 1, saying that this sum has been seen for once. Move on to next element. This will be 14. 14 is compared with 7. They are not equal. 14 minus 7 will be searched in this map. So yes, 14 minus 7, that is 7 is present. So we will increment our count to 2. Now before moving on to the next value, we will also insert this current sum value, which is 14, and its count as 1. So we now move on to the next value, which is 2. Now 2 will be added, it will be 16. 16 is not equals to 7 and 16 minus 7, which is 9, is not present in map. So we will again move on to the next value. This will be 13. 13 is not equals to 7. 13 minus 7, which is 6, is not present in our map. So we will insert this 16 and 13 as well. So I forgot to insert this 16. This will be count 1 and this will also be counted as 1. Now we move on to the next element. 14, it will be 13 plus 1. 14 not equals to 7. And then again 14 minus 7 is equals to 7. So 7 is already present here. So we will just increment this count value and we will insert this 14 in this map. So 14 is already present here. So we will just increment the count, saying that this sum has been seen 2 times. We now move on to the next element. This is 4. This will be 18. Now 18 is not equals to k. 18 minus k will be equals to 11. 11 is not present in map. So we just insert this 18 with count 1 and move on to the next element. Now this is adding 2, it will be 20. 20 is not equals to k. 20 minus k, which is 13, is searched in my map. So in this map 13 is already present. So we will increment this count to value 4. And now we will insert this 20 here with the count value 1 and we will move on to the next element. So all the elements have now been traversed. So by using a map, you can access elements in just O1 time by using their key, and we are traversing this array just once. So the total time complexity will be order of n for this case, and the space complexity will also be order of n. So this is the pseudo code which I have written for this method. So let us look at the code in order to get a better understanding. So in this case, this is for fast IO operations. This n is storing the size of the array. If size is 0, then return 0. Otherwise, we will create a map. I am taking a current sum, which is the prefix sum, I equals to 0, which is used for traversal from left to right. This count is equals to 0, which will be containing the final count of all possible subarrays with value equals to k. So we will now run the while loop, and I have already explained how it will be running, and finally we will return the count value. So this is the entire flow, and I think this is very simple approach. If you have any other approach or solution in different languages, then do share below so that everyone can benefit from it. Like and share our video and subscribe to our channel in order to watch more of this programming videos. See you in our next video. Thank you.